Hello, everyone. So, today's gonna be a little bit of a different type of video. I'm going to be reading or narrating, a story that is very important to me. I remember making a community post about this not long ago, and, some things have happened since then, that I've been needing to take care of, but, I'm back. I'm ready to do some more videos and stuff, and I'm going to be reading you guys the first chapter of my own original mermaid story. It's called Mermaids of Shelldovia, and I came up with that. This is not a fan fiction. This is a completely original work of mine. And it's not very often that I do original works, but I've worked on this over the years, and honestly, I really do hope that maybe I can make it into a show or a movie or something someday. Right now, it's just a story on quotev, but, maybe it'll change one day. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the narrations. Mermaids of Shelldovia, Book 1. Sirens at Sea. Chapter 1. Return to Shelldovia. Kira's point of view. The world is full of secrets, and the most important ones are often locked away for safekeeping. Some may view it as a way to ensure the safety of the ones they love. Perhaps they think that lying about some things can protect you. But curiosity, as with most things, can provoke one to do the unthinkable in a desperate attempt to uncover the truth. And sometimes, their strong will to find out what really happened can lead to their unfortunate end. I sat in my cave in front of my mirror, brushing my long blonde hair. I reached for a seashell and carefully twisted it into my hair. I admired my reflection in the mirror. Satisfied, I smiled. Just then, I heard water splashing behind me. I turned around to see my sister, and I smiled more. "Hey, sis," I greeted her. "What's up?" My sister also smiled as she came closer to me. "You look beautiful, Kira," she said. "I love the seashells. It has color." She paused for a couple of seconds, and I felt a spark of anxiety, sensing what she was about to say. "Are you ready for tonight?" she asked. It was the one question I'd been asking myself for the past few months. Tonight was my 19th birthday. Normally, you might not think it's such a big deal, but in my pod, it's the most important event of my life. My name is Kira, and I'm the mermaid princess of Shelldovia. Because I'm mermaid royalty, my birthday is much more special. After tonight, everything would change. I would be crowned queen of Shelldovia. "I'm not sure," I replied uneasily. "I mean, do you think they'll accept me?" I was nervous, and not just because I didn't think I was ready to take full responsibility for the pod, but also because there is something about me that sets me apart from the rest of the pod. I'm half siren. When my father married my mother, the pod was skeptical about Celestia's decision to be with the king. Many were against it, and some left because they feared for the safety of our people. You see, sirens and merpeople are enemies. It is unclear how or when it first started, but for thousands of years we have been at war with each other. However, about 100 years ago, the sirens went silent. They have stayed in hiding for a while, and they haven't attacked us since then. Most of the pod believes that sirens are dangerous, devious, and no good. They're convinced they're pure evil. And me? Well, I don't have all the answers, so I can't assume much. I nervously glanced at my reflection in the mirror. What if they treat me the way they did to Mom? I wondered out loud. They'll think I'm an evil freak. No, they won't, Avanis assured me. They know you're a good person, and they'll think you're an amazing queen. I smiled at her encouraging words. Thanks, Sylvanas. We should be heading to the palace now. We don't want to be late. Come on. Sylvanas flicked her tail excitedly, and I followed her out of our room. My worries faded as we headed towards the reef. I gazed longingly at the stingrays lying in the sand. Sometimes I wish I could just lie down on the sand without a care in the world. I forced myself to look ahead as Sylvanas and I swam towards the palace. Ah, there you are, girls. About time, Meridia greeted us. Are you ready, Kira? I felt so nervous. I was afraid to speak, so I merely nodded. Sylvanas offered her words of encouragement, and I tried to calm my nerves as the ceremony was about to begin. I knew that this ceremony would be much different than all my other birthdays in the past, and change scares me more than anything. Meridia cleared her throat and began. Good evening, all of you. As you know, tonight is a very special night. It is Princess Kira's birthday and her official coronation. Everyone began cheering, and I felt a little relieved, while also silently hoping they weren't just doing that because it was appropriate at a Mer-Royal ceremony. Meridia swam aside, letting the ancients join around me in an arc. The ancients are the oldest and most knowledgeable Mer people in the entire kingdom. They receive visions from past Mer royalty about the future, and we look upon them for an answer if a problem ever arises. I held my breath as I wait for their blessing. It is my great honor to crown you Queen Kira of Shelldovia, Calethea announced as she placed the glittering crown on my head. It's made with a special type of stone that can protect me by enhancing my powers. Knowing what was next, I began to lie on my back in the water as the ancients all chanted some words. A few seconds later, the water around me began to glow, and my tail began to change colors. I could feel power coursing through my veins and throughout my entire body. I had never felt such energy before in all my life. As the moonlight washed over me, I felt more peaceful and closed my eyes. Suddenly, I heard a scream from the crowd and I jerked myself awake. I immediately sat up and turned around to see who it had come from, and what I saw shocked me and filled me with terror. Some poor mermaid was being attacked by a creature that I immediately recognized as a siren. More of them appeared, attacking the others, and I then realized what was happening. Terror filled my entire body, and my blood turned to ice as I watched my pod struggling against the sirens. Kira! I spun around and spotted Meridia. We've got to protect the pod! I forced myself to snap out of it, and I quickly swam over to help the others. Flashes of black and red flew past me. Some sirens tried to slash my tail with their long claws, but I was too fast and dodged them. Screams could be heard from all over, and I darted left and right, trying to help who I could. Everything was happening so fast that I barely had time to think in all the confusion. Why was this happening? What were the sirens doing here? My father and mother had told me so many stories about the sirens, but I had never pictured this scene. I had no idea that the sirens were so strong and powerful. As my mind raced, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my tail as something pierced me. I looked down to see a siren. His fangs were clamped down hard onto my tail. I screamed in pain and tried desperately to pry my tail loose. I felt another wave of pain, and tears sprang to my eyes. I flailed around in an attempt to get myself free. I used my powers of lightning to strike the siren, and his grip on my tail finally released. Pain was pulsing through my tail, and I began to feel dizzy. The siren let out a high-pitched screech and prepared to launch itself at me. I watched helplessly as I tried to gather my thoughts and figure out what to do. This is it, I thought to myself as I waited for the siren's attack. I'm so sorry, everyone. Sorry I failed to protect you. I closed my eyes and waited for the end to come, but no attack came. I heard the siren screech in pain and my eyes flew open. Panic flooded over me as I realized who had saved me. Sylvanas! I cried out. I swam over to her as fast as I could, ignoring all the pain in my tail. The siren lashed out with its sharp claws, but Avanis was agile and evaded the attack. I struck the siren with my lightning whenever I could get the chance. "Get away from my sister!" Avanis screamed as the fight continued. The siren smiled evilly, and quicker than lightning, he grabbed me. I felt his claws dig deep into my skin, and blood oozed out of the wound. "Surrender to me now," his voice boomed devilishly, "or your sister dies by my hand." I held my breath as I looked at my sister's desperate expression. I knew in that moment that we were thinking the same thing. There's no way out of this. Suddenly, a bright light came out of nowhere, blinding me. I blinked, trying to clear my vision. As my eyes adjusted to the light, I could make out Sagittarius's blue tail and black hair. The ancients were here. My heart leapt with hope as I watched to see what she would do to help us. As she lifted up her hand, I could see she was holding some object. I couldn't quite see it through the light it emitted. There was a bright flash, and Avanis and I were knocked aside. And then I saw darkness. "Is she going to be okay?" I could hear Avanis' worried voice. It was followed by another voice, which I recognized as the pod nurse, Shelldovia. "She'll wake up soon. I'll take good care of her. Don't worry." I heard the sound of a tail splashing, and I knew that Avanis had left the cave. I slowly opened my eyes. "Where am I?" I asked groggily. I tried to sit up, but Shelldovia gently laid me back down. "You are safe here, Kira," she told me. What happened to me? My mind felt fuzzy, and I tried to make sense of everything that had happened. The last thing I remembered before blacking out was Sagittarius, and then nothing. "Sagittarius saved us," Shelldovia answered. "She used one of the ancient charms to drain their magic, and she drove them out. They won't be coming back for a little while." I nodded, and my mind raced with thoughts as I immediately felt worry for my pod crawling up my spine. "What about the pod?" I wanted to know. "Is everyone safe?" "Everyone is fine, and no one was badly injured," Shelldovia said. "We were lucky that Sagittarius came and stopped the battle when she did. Otherwise, we might have lost many more people, and Shelldovia would be in great danger." "I see." I nodded. So Sagittarius had saved everyone after all. I felt a huge relief wash over me, but it was soon shrouded in a wave of embarrassment and shame. I had failed to protect the pod. It hadn't even been a day since I was crowned Queen of Shelldovia, and I had already proven useless and a bad leader. I sighed disappointedly. I had to go back and do what a real queen would do. Take care of my people. I sat up and rose to leave. "Thank you for taking care of me, Shelldovia," I told the pod nurse. "But I better get going now. I have to make sure all of Shelldovia is okay." I started to swim off when Shelldovia called out after me, "Kira, wait!" I turned around to hear what she had to say. "I need to take a closer look at that bite wound," Shelldovia explained quickly. "It must be causing you a lot of pain." Almost as if on cue, a fresh wave of pain burned throughout my tail, and I looked down to see bite marks in the middle of my tail. Suddenly, I remembered my encounter with the siren, and I shuddered at the memory. Shelldovia was right that it was painful, but right now I didn't have the time to deal with that. I had to go and make sure everyone was all right. "I'm sure it's nothing to worry about," I assured Shelldovia, forcing myself to smile. "Are you sure?" Shelldovia eyed me doubtfully, and I nodded. "I'll come see you right away if it gets worse," I promised. And with that, I flicked my tail and left in a splash. Ow. Poseidon, this really stings. I paused mid-swim for a couple of seconds. I moved my tail slightly and immediately winced in pain. I shook my head, trying hard to focus on my important task. I kept going despite the pain in my tail. I knew something was wrong. I could feel it. There was a burning sensation that pulsed throughout my tail from fin to fluke. but I knew that I couldn't let a little injury stop me. Kira, you're okay. I was so worried that you wouldn't wake up. Avanis hovered around me worriedly. I smiled as much as I could through the pain. I couldn't let her see how awful I felt. I hugged her. It's so good to see you, sis, I responded. I'll be fine. Lydia took good care of me. But what about the others? Is everyone all right? Avanis nodded and felt relieved. Hey, are you sure you're okay? She asked, noticing my expression. Your tail is bleeding. It's fine, Avanis. Don't worry about it, okay? I tried to shake off her concern, but Avanis wasn't having it. That looks really painful. Come on, Kira, I'll get you to the pod nurse. No, I shouted, and Avanis moved back a couple tail flicks. I'm sorry, I apologized. I'm just so worried about the pod. You have nothing to worry about, Avanis reassured me. Everyone is fine, but it's you I'm worried about. You look really pale, and I don't like the looks of that bite mark on your tail. Look, the bleeding still hasn't stopped. Okay, I gave in. I'll go and see Lydia. Avanis smiled in satisfaction and took hold of my hand to steady me as I swam. Gratefully, I let her guide me through the water. I felt dizzy and exhausted. My tail burned with pain, and I could feel myself growing weaker by the second. My mind began to wander away from the present, and I began to see memories of my childhood. My mother and father. Avanis and I playing together with our friends. We were so carefree back then. We had no worries, no sirens or anything else dangerous to drive us apart. I don't remember much before my mother died. Calethea tells me that she was a brave and thoughtful ruler. She put her life on the line for me and my sister Avanis. She died protecting us. As for my father, I don't know much about his disappearance. Avanis, I don't feel so good. My voice trailed off as I passed out. I could faintly hear my sister's voice in my semi-conscious state. I felt the rush of water flowing past my body as Avanis carried me through the water. Just hold on, Kira. You're going to be okay. I promise. I don't know how long I was out for. I could feel my body getting hotter and hotter by the second. I heard different voices fading in and out. I couldn't move at all. Fear filled me suddenly. Is this it? Am I going to die without ever doing anything to protect my pod? Hey guys, so that was chapter 1 of Mermaids of Shelldovia. Let me know what you guys think, because personally, I love this story. It really means a lot to me. I spent years coming up with this story and putting everything together, and originally this was written down in a lot of notebooks before it was published. But, and by published, I mean it's just a story on Quotev. It's not a real story yet. I'm going to say yet because I want it to be a real story. But let me know what you guys thought about that first chapter. I only really have one book published, so yeah. I want this to be a series, though, whether it's a movie trilogy or a TV show. I just want to put it out there, and I want people to enjoy it, you know? I really do feel like I have good ideas for, original content. In terms of, mermaids, media, and stuff. I was very inspired by H2O and Mako Mermaids and other YouTubers doing their own mermaid shows. It was a whole era for me, honestly. Okay, it's really quiet in here because I'm in my car. Filming. I just filmed a Charlie video. Depending on which video I post first, you guys are probably going to see it, but I have a few things in the works right now, so hopefully you get to enjoy that. But just wanted to say thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, critique, anything that you have to say about this in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. So, bye!